Hi, I am the Finance Catalyst and my name is Gabriel. On today's episode, I'm going to be picking up some of your questions that you have sent to me in the last 6 months. I've received loads and loads of questions cutting across the area of finance, and I thought it well to pick up some of them and address them in this particular episode. I'm going to be reading them out and I will address as much as I can for now. And if you still have more questions, you can always reach out to me directly. I will try as much as possible to respond to your questions. So the first question I have here is that, good day sir, how do I invest in shares? It's very easy to invest in shares, but before you can even start those kind of investment, you have to have a broker's account created. Now you might want to ask me, what's a broker's account? A broker's account is a kind of account that gives you license or the right to be able to make certain kind of investments in several shares. It's like just the way you have your bank account. If you want to possibly deposit money into your bank account, you have to go to the bank and create or open an account, savings account or current account. Just the same way you have those, you also have a broker's account. So a broker's account is it's very easy. You can set it up online. It takes about 15 minutes to set up a broker's account, and that gives you a license to be able to see the several shares that are available in the market and how you could be able to benefit from those. If you want to invest in several shares, you can look at their current price in the market, and also you can be able to identify which of those you think you can invest in that has a great value for you going forward in the near future. So this is one of the ways you can invest in shares. The first step is to set up a broker's account, and once you've done that, you can then start identifying which of the shares you think, based on the current market conditions, of course, it's more of value to you. Also, if you want to get more information on this, you can also send direct message to me and we can set up something to talk about it, and I can give you more information on this regard. The second question here is, with someone with a very busy schedule like I have, how do I fit in my passive income ideas? Okay, so passive income, like I already said in my previous video, is a kind of income you get without stress. It's something you just don't have to really put in so much effort. You don't do anything, you just get those kind of funds. So even though you are someone that operates a very busy schedule, you can set up a passive income for yourself. Because in my previous episode, I had talked about how important it is to have a passive income. I gave several passive income ideas. Like, for example, in the real estate market, there are several people who are investing in real estate to get rental income. You don't necessarily have to put in so much effort into that. Just put in your money there, and these properties are being rented out, and then there's a rental income percentage that you get as a result of your investment. So you can take advantage of that without even getting yourself there or being available. This is an opportunity. I also talked about self-service businesses. I used an example of a vending machine. Someone can just come up with the idea to plant a vending machine in a strategic location where he's not even going to be present. He just mounts the vending machine there, and he can generate funds from that. At the end of the day, maybe by the time you are done with your work, you can just go there, or you can even put someone who can oversee it for you. But these ideas that's why it's called passive income, because you don't have to necessarily involve yourself so much in it. You can also be doing other things, doing your other businesses, doing other things, and at the same time making extra funds, extra cash for yourself without having to make so much effort. That's why it's called passive income. So there's a balance. You can find a balance. So the next question here is, it says, hello sir, I am a committed partner in church, but I find it difficult to save because each time I have money, I always have so many partnership commitments. What can I do? This is a very, very interesting question, because I understand how, when it comes to your financial commitment in the house of God, is very, very important. For me, I am a financial partner. I am committed to the things of God. It's important to take note of this, but at the same time, you have to find a way to have the right balance. In as much that you are committed to what you do in church, savings is also important. Even the Bible encourages savings. You just don't have to just focus mainly on only your financial participation in church, and you don't have any sort of savings. Because if there are some situations that you need some funds to be able to deal with some certain situations, where do you have to get those money from if you've not been able to save up some money? So it's always important, in as much that you are financially committed in the house of God, it's also important to have your savings in place, because the Bible also encourages savings. So I would encourage you to try as much as possible to be disciplined in this regard. You don't necessarily, savings, you don't necessarily have to have loads of savings, you just have to be consistent. If you want to even go in that direction, maybe you can have an automated system, where, in your bank account, we have this kind of structure in the banks now, where you can easily set up a kind of a direct debit, so that when the funds come, you know that this particular percentage of money goes to your savings account. So you can do this in that way, that once the money comes into your account, there's a certain percentage that goes towards your savings. It's important to save, in as much that you are committed in the house of God. You also have to plan for your savings. That's very, very important. The final question I have here: are you also an investor? And if you are, what type of businesses do you invest in? Yeah, I invest in several financial instruments, but I would highly recommend the real estate market, because the real estate market is it's a thriving market in our world today. You could see it thriving. It's tangible, With real estate, you don't go wrong. You can feel it, you can touch it, you can see it, So it's something that I would recommend anytime, any day, because it's an asset, and it appreciates in value. If you get a property today or invest in a property today, the tendency that the value of that property remains the same in 2 years or 3 years time is very slim. So it's always important to look at the real estate market. Other areas could also be investing in gold. Gold is something, again, that has been, over the years, if you follow the trends, you could see how it has been of great value to people. It has increased in value. That's one area I also invest in, because I see that it's something that is very, very important. It has a great value. That's one part. And then we have what we call crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is something that most people are already aware of, but this is a platform, or it's a kind of structure where there are several projects that is being hosted by a platform. So these projects are like, it depends on what kind of projects it could be. Maybe someone is looking for funding for a solar panel, or it could be maybe someone is looking for funding to be able to produce some certain amount of maybe rice, in the agricultural sector. So it's now left for you now to identify which of the projects that are of interest to you, and based on the funding that the person is requesting for, you could see on the platform the maturity date, how many years the funding is going to be for, and when they are going to fully repay that particular fund that they are requesting for. And you could also see what interest rate is accrued on the requested amount, and what will be your return if you are to invest in that particular project. So crowdfunding is also another opportunity. I do invest in several of these opportunities, because I see that, these are kind of investment that, of course, you get returns and the risk is minimum. So you don't have high risk when it comes to dealing with such kind of investment. So this is something you want to also consider. So having said all this, I trust that you were able to benefit from some of these questions. Like I said, you can always send in your questions. I'll try as much as possible to respond to them as soon as I can. And in terms of all the other questions that I couldn't read out today, I'm actually preparing a special masterclass that will be able to address some of these issues when it comes to your finances. So I want to say thank you so much for watching today. Until I see you again in my next video, always stay financially safe and financially sound. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.